I guess I better put a smile on my face. Hi, I'm Susan, and welcome to Lip Lock No More. I'm trying for the second time to do a live stream on ambiguous loss. And it almost seems like the universe doesn't want me to do that. But my viewers know me. Hey, Spudler. Maybe the second time will be the charm. I don't know if you were here a moment ago, Spudler, and I've already deleted the upload. The moment I hit go live, Spudler, Utah, one of the ninja kitties jumped up on my desk and ran behind my phone camera, okay, and bumped it. And there's this thing now when I'm using, hi Carrie, hi DJ. So I'm going to try to get in a little bit better mood. It is highly uncommon for me to be like angry feeling with one of the cats. I mean, it's just, but y'all know I've been waiting for days to talk about this because it's so emotional. So I was already in like this state of mind, like, Lord, help me. Hi, Weepy. And then that moment, here comes Utah, boom, and it changed the orientation. Now, it didn't actually make me go vertical, but what it does is it won't allow me to do anything other than end the live stream. And it makes me very, very dim on the screen, and none of the commands are available when that happens. So I just ended it, deleted it, and began again. So I apologize to those of you who were here a moment ago and have come back. And thank you to those of you who are just joining for listening to the explanation. Now, if we can do this without ninja kittens, so I had never heard the term ambiguous loss until a number of days ago when one of my favorite channels here on YouTube, Spudler, who happens to be in chat right now, and your chat has disappeared on me, Spudler uploaded a video about ambiguous loss. Now, when it comes to Spudler, she's one of those creators. Hi, Rosemary and Time. And babies, please bear with me. I'm a little rattled after that, everything, okay? So if you will, please just hang with me till I get over the willies here. And my fear that the cats are going to end another live stream. Spudler is one of those creators on YouTube that I enjoy and respect so much that regardless of the topic, if Spudler uploads, I'm going to watch it. And most likely 98 to 99% of the time, I'm going to share Spudler's work on the community tab here on Lip Lock No More. I have yet to view or listen to one of Spudler's videos without gaining something of value from having done so. So as a commentary, critique, criticism, review, and whatever the heck I want to opinionate, whatever I want to talk about channel, I want to highly recommend the channel Spuddler. Ambiguous loss. A feeling I've had, but I did not know what it was. I had that feeling when my sons, who were in the military at the time, were not deployed at the same time, but one after another into the Iraqi war. The longing, the missing, the depression, the worry, the anxiety. I didn't know it was ambiguous loss. Spuddler wants us to learn, like I want us to learn, but Spuddler is much better at it than I am. And the reason we're using my phone is because I want to play Spuddler's video. And y'all know how my system crashes, bogs down, and buffers on us. So I'm going to use the phone and point it at my desktop screen. First, we're going to look at a couple of things though. And we may not watch Spuddler's entire video because I want you guys to go watch it on her channel and give her the view. And hopefully a like. And while you're there, I'm hoping that you will consider subbing up to Spuddler. And while you're at it, hit her all notifications bell. Now, if I can move us over here without doing what the kitty cat did. I have to be very gentle, so bear with me, please. Hi, Be the Bean. Spuddler, I'm catching the tail end of your chat. Humility is a fine, fine quality, young lady. But, Spuddler, you're going to take my praise, whether you like it or not. By the way, the beautiful, relaxing music that we are listening to in the background is on a channel called Soothing Melodies, to which I just subscribed. We usually have it on a different channel for our calming music, but today I thought we would try a different channel. All right. First, let's look at the AI overview, darlings. Hi, Jam420. Are you blushing, Spuddler? Well, blush in one of your adorable hats. Spuddler, when you did your little, the short video on hats and lipstick, I think it was. Spuddler, I think you could put on any hat in the millinery world and look totally gorgeous in it. I am extremely jelly of your ability to wear hats. But then when you showed us the arrangement of your hats hanging on the wall. When I glanced at it, just an initial first glance, because we were in the throes of our braless stage. Yeah. I honestly, for one moment, thought that one of the things hanging on your wall was a brassiere. Hi, Angie's Life. Carrie, you love that one too? I love your hair, Spudler. It looks nice and soft. Hi, Cherokee girl. Okay, let me get a sip of my soda pop here. Get a sip of soda. All right. This is the AI overview regarding ambiguous loss. Ambiguous loss is a term used to describe a loss that is unclear or unconfirmed and can lead to feelings of confusion, anxiety, and chronic sorrow. It can occur when a person's physical presence remains, but their emotional connection is lost. Or when an emotional connection remains, but a physical connection is lost. And I looked at the part most, I focused in mostly on a personal level on the phrase, emotional connection remains, but a physical connection is lost. Now, that's what I was feeling when my boys were overseas during wartime. Spudler would like for us to learn and to put, I'm struggling for words, darling. Spudler would like for us to recognize, and I'm not speaking for Spudler, I'm just conveying my thoughts, my personal thoughts in regards to her video because of the title of her video, and we will get there. Spudler would like for those of us, now I'm not a true crime channel, but I skirt around it, okay? I touch base with it. But Spudler would like for true crime channels to get a grasp on what ambiguous loss is, and for those of us who address certain issues on this platform to take ambiguous loss into consideration. Oops, I'm sorry, y'all. My hands are shaking. She would like for us to take ambiguous loss into consideration when we are talking about a missing person on our channels. I believe that Spudler would like for us to take this into consideration regardless of the age of the missing, but perhaps more specifically in regards to missing children, where their parents, siblings, loved ones, and friends are concerned. Ambiguous loss is a person's profound sense of loss and sadness that is not associated with a death of a loved one. It can be a loss of emotional connection when a person's physical presence remains, or when that emotional connection remains, but a physical connection is lost. Often, there is not a sense of closure. Another thing that occurs to me here in regards to ambiguous loss, and this is just personal thoughts, okay? It can be a loss of emotional connection when a person's physical presence remains. Darlings, this could be in the event of, let's say we have a loved one that has a brain injury or a stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's. We're still emotionally connected to that person, and their physical presence is with us. But we have no sense of closure. So, darlings, you see, this ambiguous loss, I'm trying really hard. Y'all know my husband has had 2 strokes, okay? He's not who he used to be. So, let's go over here. The kitties are getting really rambunctious. All right, let me pause for a moment. Let me make it big. Come on, full screen. Okay. This is Spudler's video. Ambiguous Loss. And her title is Why, as Followers of True Crime, We Need to Understand It. And you notice that Spudler has titled it Followers of True Crime, not just those of us who cover, or those of you who cover. Those of us who follow. Let me know if the audio is okay. And darlings, because Spudler is here and I do have Spudler's permission to play her video, we're not going to be pausing an awful lot. If you have not seen this video, I want to give a trigger warning. And please have some Kleenex or some sort of tissue or a handkerchief. Okay?
Well, ambiguous loss is simply an unclear loss. There's no death certificate. There's no certainty that that transformation has taken place. People have no certainty about the situation. There are 2 kinds of ambiguous loss that remain unclear. The first is physical. The second is psychological. An example of physical.
Okay, babies, can you hear it okay, please? Spudler, I can only imagine, honey. I'm sure I won't be able to get through it, but I want to get through at least one of the interviews. Okay, babies. Hi, Tammy. Okay, so you can hear it. All right. Let's go.
Physical ambiguous loss. would be people who are physically gone, but you don't know if they're coming back or not, so you keep them psychologically present. Soldiers who are missing in action, people who have been kidnapped, refugees who are separated, families who are separated, and so on. But more common examples would be divorce and adoption, and people who break up. And so people are still around and alive, but you're no longer with them. The absence is physical.
Just let him go. He's all I've got.
Okay, babies. Now, this is a real interview. So, trigger warning.
I just wish they would come forward and tell what they know. Maybe somebody someday will do something. I still need closure, and I'm still here. And I still want to know why. Sometimes it seems like it was just yesterday I had Arlen with me. Other times it seems like it's been forever and ever and ever. Had to fight cancer. I've had to fight so many things in my life. But the one thing that's kept me going is I want to know what happened to my son. There's not a day goes by that I don't think of my son. There's not a day goes by that I don't hurt. I don't think it ever gets easier, but you learn to live with it, and you just hope, and you just pray, and you just keep waiting. That's all you can do.
Thank you,
The
Carrie.
second kind of ambiguous loss is
Hi, John.
psychological, and the examples are when the person is in front of you, perhaps living with you, they're there, but they're not there because their mind or memory is going. And examples would be Alzheimer's disease and traumatic brain injury, or serious mental illness, or frankly, addiction, where the person is there, but they're not the way they used to be. And again, more common examples would be those of us who disappear into our smartphones or our devices, even when we're with a child or with a partner over the dinner table.
Darlings, did you hear what she said about disappearing into our smartphones? Are we one of those people? Are we one of those people that sits down and gets sucked in to the point that when someone speaks to us, we do not even hear them, nor acknowledge their presence in the same room? When we do that, are we causing someone that loves us to suffer ambiguous loss?
We're there, but not there.
Now, babies, you know what the word chronic means, right? Chronic is ongoing. Chronic means it doesn't go away. Chronic means you feel it when you wake up in the morning. You feel it all day long. And you feel it when you go to sleep at night.
So then what is closure and how does it link to ambiguous loss? Well, early on, I said that ambiguous loss, because it is unclear, has no closure. But that was actually an error because that implies that we want closure. Closure is not desired by people who lose loved ones.
Did you hear that? Closure is not desired by those who have lost loved ones.
What they want is certainty.
What they want is certainty. And there is a difference, darlings, between closure and certainty.
Want to know where the body is. They want to know what happened and why it happened. And that's different than closure. Closure is a perfectly good idea in business, for business contracts. During the big pandemic, we saw stores that closed. That's closure. But it's a bad word to use with human relationships. And people who have lost someone actually feel hurt by people who use that word with them.
People who have lost someone are actually hurt when we use the word closure. So I personally am going to put a great deal of effort into remembering that.
Thinking, are you over it yet? Have you found closure? That is an unkind thing to say.
Hi, Cheryl.
Instead, what we should do is think in paradox and think both and. By that I mean, for example, the more you seek closure after a loss, the more likely you will have complicated grief.
The more you seek closure after a complicated loss. Wow. Okay, let's go on. I'm sorry. Let's go on.
The harder it will be to move forward with life.
In complicated grief, painful emotions are so long-lasting and severe that you have trouble recovering from the loss and resuming your own life. For some people, feelings of loss are debilitating and don't improve even after time passes.
So it's just the opposite of what we have been thinking, at least in this country. I'm not sure that the entire world would agree that closure is an ideal thing to have after loss. I think it may be uniquely American.
I think she's right. Okay, darlings, I'm going to listen to one more interview. This one's hard. All the interviews are hard, okay? So trigger warning. Hi, Weepy.
Sir, our question is where Haley is. No, the emotions are daily because she's 6 years old. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's still walking around out there, if she's cold, hungry, if she's got clothes to wear. It's just something.
Babies, I know that the audio may be difficult. Haley's mother is talking about, we don't know if she's cold, we don't know if she's hungry. Darlings, how many times in the cases that we are aware of, the wondering and the worry and anxiety that comes with it.
It's wonderful to know that there's people still out there a year later still praying for Haley, for her to come home. It's great to know that we have friends here in this county as well as our county that's still standing there waiting with us. I have a God that says we're going to
Hi,
find
Patty.
her. I just hope it's sooner than later. It was a year ago I said the same thing, and it's a year later now.
but I'll still stand and wait. I mean, that's all I have to. That's all I have. She disappeared without a trace, and that just don't happen. If she's alive, we want her back. If she's not alive, we still want her back so that we can give her a place to lay and rest, so that we can go visit her, so that we can be there near her, close to her, whatever it is that we feel we need to do.
Y'all, I'm sorry for the sniffles. I'm crying.
From the time I wake up, that she's not on my mind. I talk to God all day long because He's the only sanity out of this. It's nonstop. You wake up in the middle of the night and she's there.
If you have any information about Haley Cummings, please contact your local FBI office or the nearest American embassy or consulate.
It's just, it's never leaving. Literature in grief right now says you don't have to get over it. And the 5 stages are not useful because stages imply when you reach the last stage, you're over it. So they give a false hope to people. What you do, though, is transform the presence, the attachment to that person. Perhaps, in fact, to honor their memory by working on a cause that took them away.
This one is really near and dear to my heart. Y'all know I live in Arkansas. Morgan Nix went missing on June the 9th of 1995. She was abducted from a Little League ball game in Alma, Arkansas. That's over in western Arkansas, near Fayetteville. The Morgan Nick Foundation has been instrumental in helping parents of missing children. So to honor, we're going to listen to one more because this is my home state right here. And a little girl that I've been aware of since June the 9th of 1995. Hi, kid.
It's insane that we live in a world where someone can take a child and we just don't know what happened to them. People don't understand how you can keep relentlessly fighting, but Morgan is worth fighting for. Even though more time has continued to go by, our belief is that if we fight hard enough, we will find the truth and we'll bring her home. Our belief is that somewhere somebody knows the truth about Morgan and that someday we will know that truth, that we will find that. The bottom line is that we still don't have Morgan back and we still don't know where she is. And so she is still missing and our fight is still to bring her home. And even if we can't bring her home,
hi, Toby,
planned, which grieves her soul, she still deserves to come home.
She still deserves to come home.
The probability is very strong that Morgan will not come home to be part of our family. But the possibility exists because no one has ever proved that she won't come home. And
the probability is that Morgan will never come home. But there's a possibility because nothing has ever been proven. You see, darlings? The not knowing
So I choose not to fight for the probability, but to fight for the possibility. You know, Morgan is a daughter and a sister and a granddaughter, and she deserves to be fought for. At this point, we can either quit or push forward, and both of those things are hard, but I choose my hard, and that is.
We can either quit or we can push forward, and both of those options are hard. Both of those options are hard.
To continue to fight for my daughter. Love always hopes, doesn't give up, doesn't get tired, doesn't go away, but fights every day. I met Patty Wetterling shortly after Morgan was taken. I saw her name in a magazine. I called her foundation. She called me back the next day. You know, Patty and I started Team Hope, which is an organization at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, because out of our need to connect to other parents and not have families be isolated when a child is missing, we created Team Hope that is now.
Team Hope is a group of peer support volunteers who have lived experience with missing and exploited children's issues. We know the pain, fear, frustration, and loneliness that comes with being or having a missing or sexually exploited child. We are adult survivors who were missing or sexually abused as children. We are family members of children who were sexually exploited or missing. With this knowledge and experience, we are dedicated to offering compassionate peer support, empathy, understanding, kindness, and friendship to people who experienced being or having a missing or sexually exploited child. You are not alone. We are here to provide hope and to walk the journey with you.
Now it works all across the United States.
Hi, Upright
providing
Riches. Hi, Connie.
Support to every single family with a missing child. It doesn't matter how that child is missing, whether they're considered a runaway or an abduction.
To provide support to the family of every single missing child, regardless.
Or parental abduction, we provide support with our team at the National Center to all those families. That's something I'm really proud of. Jacob and Morgan's legacy. We have the Morgan Nick Foundation. We serve families here in Arkansas. We serve missing children and adults.
Yes, they do.
Last year, we had 1,890 cases of missing Arkansans come through our office. Somebody has to fight for all of them. Somebody has to stand with the family as they work with law enforcement to figure out what is happening, to facilitate counseling and resources when that person is returned. And, you know, we have an incredible staff who fights every day for missing persons.
Yes, they do.
Oh, we have great results. We have a welcome home wall at our office so that when someone is found safe, we put their poster up and we ring a bell because we're saying welcome home. Like, we're really glad to have you back.
Welcome home. We're really glad to have you back. Darlings, I'm going to flip the lens back around. Now, a number of you have already seen Spudler's video in its entirety. A number of you have not. I would like for her to get the view. We have watched the first 12 minutes and 36 seconds of a 24-minute, 59-second video. We made it halfway. And my heart is aching and breaking, and I can't watch any more right now of Spudler's video for my own psychological, emotional, and mental well-being. But I'd really like it an awful lot if you babies would go over and give her the view and watch the rest of it. Hang on. Give me a second here. I gotta. Darlings, when I end this live stream, I will provide in the description below a number of links. The link to Spudler's video on ambiguous loss, links to things we have read here, but I'd like to look at just a couple more things before we say goodbye. Just in case there's one person out there that needs. Okay. What are the symptoms of ambiguous loss? Well, let's do this before we do that. Hang on. Define ambiguous. From the Oxford Languages. Ambiguous. It's an adjective. Open to more than one interpretation, having a double meaning, as in ambiguous phrases. Further defined as unclear or inexact because a choice between alternatives has not been made. Unclear or inexact because a choice between alternatives has not been made. And in the case of ambiguous loss, what does one do if you don't know if your child ran away, if your child walked away and got lost, if your child was taken by a stranger, if your child was taken by someone you know, or if you have absolutely no idea on God's green earth, how do you choose between your alternatives when FBI card team says no signs of abduction, but your baby is gone? Their loss is ambiguous. If the loss isn't recognized and supported, grief gets stuck. Effects can include depression, anxiety, hopelessness, a confused identity, ambivalence, insecurity, and lost trust in the world as a fair and rational place. Family conflict is what? A natural result. Those of us who speak of the missing on this app need to keep these things in mind. When we decide, like I have done in the past, that I am somehow qualified to pass judgment, the study of ambiguous loss has made it very, very clear to this old lady. I don't know anything about anything. And unless you yourself have dealt with this issue, neither do you. Therefore, if you are a YouTube creator, a channel holder, if you chat in chat rooms or leave comments under a YouTuber's videos, do you keep these things in mind? Or like me, were you unaware of them? So would it not behoove us, those of us who, either day in and day out, hour upon endless hour, or just for a few moments here and there now and then, if we are going to take to our platforms to discuss the missing, should we not also take the time to educate ourselves as to the impact that that loss is having on those who loved the one who is missing? And I have asked this question in the past, and I shall continue to do so. If you are a true crime channel, when did a missing person automatically become a crime? When did you decide that people who have lost trust in the world as a fair and rational place where family conflict is a natural result of their loss, their ambiguous loss? What appeal can be made to those who are motivated by money? I don't know, but there are appeals that can be made to people like me who just did not know any better, but have learned and have changed. How do you heal from ambiguous loss? If you're experiencing ambiguous loss, here are some suggestions for dealing with the grief, stress, and sadness that can accompany it. 1, name what you're going through. 2, work toward acceptance. 3, reach out for support. 4, look for silver linings. 5, get involved in a cause. And number 6, be kind to yourself. Darlings, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today to learn with me about ambiguous loss. Please consider this as my personal appeal to any and all to take ambiguous loss into account when addressing the missing, their cases, their families, their moms, their dads, their grandmas, their grandpas, their aunts, their uncles, their siblings, their cousins, their friends. And please, if you are a true crime channel, I would appeal to you to not treat every single missing person's case right off the bat as if someone has committed a crime. I don't know that. You don't know that. And until law enforcement tells us a crime has been committed, we have no right. We have no right. I was all right for a while. I could smile for a while. But then I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight as we stopped to say hello. And though you wished me well, you couldn't tell that I'd been crying over you, crying over you. Yes, now you're gone. And from this moment on, I'll be crying, 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 crying. Please continue being kind to one another, always remembering it's not going to cost you one thin dime and it's not going to hurt you one single bit. And it's going to pay off in the end. Just make sure you do it with no expectation of return. Oh, who am I fooling? You be kind. And you do expect it to come back. It's a promise. I'll see you kids the next time. I love you all very much. Cry.